The third expression of Gemini is inquiry. And we're seeing with this that inevitably, if you have a fresh way of seeing life and the appetite for more, then this spirit of inquiry sends you out asking questions. And a quest is the embodiment of a series of questions. So this is an adventure. The first degree of this 5-degree batch in the expression of inquiry, the 11th degree of Gemini. This is a new path of realism in experience. So we're cutting a new track, we're pioneering, we're going on a journey that no one has actually gone on before. Now, we're not necessarily talking about cutting new paths in the jungle and so on. We're actually talking about the level of idea, the level of perception, the level of personality expression. We want to be different. We want to find our own way, do it my way. And this is the 11th degree. The 12th degree shows us that in order to be that adventurous in life, we need to understand that we've been conditioned. Inevitably, it cannot be avoided. We've been conditioned, though, to limit our way of thinking, our perception, to control what goes into the mind to a level which is considered acceptable by someone else. It was someone else's fear that led to our conditioning. But we don't have that fear. We want to release our conditioning. So this is the Topsy, the slave girl, being cheeky with her mistress. She can't break free. She's got to do the work. She's got to stay there and suffer the consequences of disobedience and so on. But what she cannot and will not ever do is release the freedom of mind. She can think what she likes because no one can get in there and control that. Not in this case, because she's sloughed off her conditioning. Most of us do not do that. Now, Gemini's good at that. Gemini will want to think differently from everyone else. They want it to be new and interesting, and they're inquiring into, well, why not? Why do I have to work for my money? I don't want to work. Why? I'm going to try something else. I'm going to play and see what trouble that gets me into. And my closest friend is Gemini in a way, and he's done that all his life. He's just said, no, I'm not playing their silly game, and he's gone bankrupt, and he's gone to prison, and he's been given a bad reputation, and he's done all of the things that society can throw at you, and he's one of the happiest men. I know. He's my age, and he's still behaving as though he's a teenager going to festivals and dancing all night. This is the spirit of Gemini. He looks like a hippie as well. His hair is down to his shoulders, and he's a wild man. And he has no slave mentality. He's just saying, like, why can't I just do what I want to do, feel what I want to feel, be what I want to be? So what happens next in Gemini 13 is this great musician at the piano. And this is an understanding of the power of the mind to open up, to feel, think, be aware of, perceive that which is beyond the slave mentality, that which is beyond the normal. And we find the muse lives there. This is where our inspiration comes from. Not only because we want to play the piano well and in a fresh way, but also we want to be who we are, with an inspiration, with a sense of breathing in spirit. That's what inspiration means. I'm full of spirit. So this is the principle of inspiration. And so we have Gemini as the source of inspiration, because they are inspired themselves. And this is all going on in the mind. This is like, we're studying how to rework the mind to be the greatest tool that we can make it become. And one of facilities, one of those facilities of mind is telepathy, and we have the 14th degree of Gemini here, the two minds communicating by telepathy. It is not that odd. We all do it. It's just that we don't identify it as such. But we are all telepathic. This is the transcendent level of communication. So whereas normally we use gestures and words and tone to communicate, there is another level where we can just vibe a communication. And people pick it up. Not everyone. By no means is it everyone. There's a small number of people. But it exists. And those of us that have actually experienced it know it as a fact. And that conversation by telepathy was actually used routinely, historically, by Sufis. It's not a weird invention of the New Age. It's been going on for forever. We do communicate by telepathy. And Gemini can actually kind of tune into that when inspired. However, if you do try and kind of open up to this non-verbal, non-documented form of communication, you're subject to risk. You might not get it right. It's very easy indeed to misinterpret a subtle communication, telepathic communication. Very easy indeed. So what we need to do is to check it out, to make sure that there is a validation occurring, that someone else agrees that we're not crazy, for example, or mistaken. And this is the 15th degree of Gemini, the Dutch children talking to each other. They're Dutch. They're not presumably American. They're Dutch. They're talking Dutch to each other in an English-speaking country. And what that means is that for the first time for a while, they've actually been understood. And they check each other out. Did you see that? Yeah, I saw that. You know, they kind of talk to each other on their own level. And this is the validation that we need for our inquiry. We're inquiring into the nature of reality and having adventures and being inspired and developing qualities like telepathy, and we're just not slaves anymore. So we're in this realm where nobody's been before. We don't know whether it makes any sense. We've got to check it out. And at least one other person has to sort of say, no, I see it your way as well. You know, if we don't get that one other person validating our worldview, we lose the anchor. We just go adrift. If there's not one person who can say, yeah, you're all right, you're not crazy, then, well, you know, we might be crazy and we wouldn't know. So this is the thing with when you're in the realms of inquiry, and many of us are, and many of the kids who do drugs are doing them in order to expand their consciousness of the nature of reality and so on. You know, we're all into this realm of moving into inquiry of undiscovered areas of consciousness. Well, we have to be careful about that. It's a dangerous occupation. You can start believing things which simply don't help you, not useful, not true in any real sense. And you just make up your own lie. We kind of do this anyway, but if somebody else agrees with your glamour, your fantasy, your illusion, then all right, it's not too far out. But if nobody agrees with it, then you are too far out. You need to moderate your sense of what's real.